race fans, Ryan Aho here from the One to Go Show, bringing you another installment of the BuyRaceShirts.com One to Go Show Pure Stock Power Rankings. So before we get into the power rankings, I got a couple shout outs here to kind of get this show started. Travis Hazelton is on fire. 5 straight wins. And I tell you what, he's got that hot rod rolling. Started a little bit of a slump early on in the year. Got her on cruise control right now. We'll talk more about him in just a little bit. So before we get into the show here, into the power rankings, I want a little shout out to BuyRaceShirts.com. Whether you need hats, t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, any kind of apparel, if it's for your race team, for your sponsors, for a club, anything that you need apparel wise, go to BuyRaceShirts.com. Check out what they have to offer for racers, by racers. That's BuyRaceShirts.com. So at number 10, we're going to go with the reigning, I guess not reigning because you can't defend it. You only get it once. But the 2022 Wissota National Rookie of the Year, that's Tyler Kaczynski from Duluth. Winless. He's winless so far. We're going to have to fix that. We're going to have to fix that, right? 9 shows, 7 podiums. He's been very good all season long. This week, he got a 3rd and 2 more second-place finishes. That's 6 second-place finishes. Tyler, got a little challenge for you there, guy. Park that baby in victory lane. If you get to 10, right, on second-place finishes before you get a win, we're going to have a conversation. I'm getting you a bridesmaid's dress, and we're going to get you fitted up. Keep up the good work. I mean, you're close. You're right there. I mean, you're knocking on the door, but just a little bit short. We're going to have to get that. We're going to have to get over the hump and get into winner's circle. Now, number 9. Let's go up to northern Minnesota here. Dave Meyer. 2 races. It's all he's been in, but I tell you, this guy's pretty good. I think we're going to have to keep him in the top 10, even though he's only got 2 shows, a 1st and a 4th. Now, this week, he got 4th, and let's be honest, he was behind a couple guys that are ahead of him in the power rankings. We got Dusty Caspers won that race, driver from up in Bagley, Minnesota. I just don't have him in the top 10. I mean, you can't fall out of that many races and be a top 10 guy. You're going to have to get that together. But Josh Berg and Jake Smith, they're both ahead of this guy. Dave Meyer's going to be solid. I don't know that he leaves Greenbush very often. Maybe we can get him to venture out a little bit, but he's really good. Him at number 9. At number 8, driver we just talked about, 2nd generation guy. I raced a lot of laps against his dad. A few nights he whooped me. A few nights I whooped him, but good race car driver running a Mata in Grand Rapids now. But Jake Smith from Cohasset, Minnesota, 9 shows on the year, 5 times on the podium. That's over 50% parked in victory lane one night. This week, a 4th and a pair of 3rds. That's a solid weekend. There's nothing wrong with that. Super consistent guy. And visually watching this driver, watching Jake, he's taken big leaps from last year. Didn't have a terrible year last year, but you can tell he's improving, getting better, getting more comfortable. I have a feeling we're going to see Jake Smith knocking off some wins before we know it. At number 7, going to go over to some of the track rules, the non-sanctioned stuff. You got Wilmer, Monty, Madison. They kind of get together. They have, I believe, the same rules package at all 3 tracks. That's pretty cool. Doesn't have to be Wissota sanctioned to have a good pure stock division. But we're talking about Alex Grenager, Clarkfield, Minnesota driver. 7 races, 3 DNFs. I know I said it with Dusty Caspers. Can't have that many DNFs. Seemed like they were early. But this week, he had wins at Montevideo and at Madison. So a great weekend. Parked in victory lane twice. Kind of checkers or records. Super good-looking hot rod. If you haven't seen it, jump on to Dirt Race Central. Check out some footage from races that they had at Madison and Monty. You'll see his car. Really, really sharp hot rod. At number 6, Ryan Olson from Ladysmith, Wisconsin. This week, 2 wins. We talked about maybe a bridesmaid deal for him last week, but he stepped up and he got it done. He got one done at Halverline Speedway up in Proctor, and he also parked it in victory lane over at Jerry's World, the Eagle Valley Speedway, Jim Falls, Wisconsin. So 9 shows, 7 times on the podium. Probably should have had a win opening night at Jerry's World, but him and old Travis Hazelton played a it just didn't work out. It wasn't his night. Let's just put it that way. So he got rid of the bridesmaid talk. Congratulations, Ryan Olson. We have him at 6, and he's on the rise. At number 5, a driver from over in Cohasset, Minnesota, just west of the Grand Rapids Speedway up there, Austin Carlson, third-generation racer, family been involved with racing for a super long time. Back-to-back wins up at the Donlinger Ford Grand Rapids Speedway. Congratulations to him. It's a pretty tough crowd up there getting it done. 5 straight podiums up there between Grand Rapids and Bemidji. He got third at Bemidji. So Austin Carlson looking pretty sporty in that 57. We got him at number 5. At number 4, another third-generation driver from that area. I made laps against his dad. I also raced against his grandpa. Gives me shit because we hooked and I didn't know what to do. I hit the brakes, screwed us both up, but had a lot of fun doing it. We're talking about Chasten Finkbone here. So this week, third in Rapids, fourth in Proctor. Just not quite what he was looking for, but here's the deal with Chasten. He's always up there. He's always second, third, fourth, gets a couple wins. 5 shows, 4 podiums and a win, but he started 8th and he started 7th. What does that mean? Highest point average, right? So he's going to be coming from the 4th row pretty much every night. Don't get discouraged if you get lots of seconds, lots of thirds. You got to kind of come through the pack and you got to pass everybody. That just means he's really consistent. Finkbone having a pretty good start to the season. At number 3, Josh Berg. So this week, 2nd and 3rd at Gondik. They had a makeup feature. Or my bad, I'm looking at the wrong one. This week, 2nd at the Grand Rapids Speedway. Greenbush 2nd, and Bemidji 1st. That's a good weekend for the 35B. So on the podium in the top 2, 3 for 3 this past weekend. 9 shows, 8 podiums, but only 1 win. Only been off the podium once, but he's another guy. Second, third. Josh Berg is just on the outside looking in. Going to have to get over that hump and convert some of those seconds into first if you want a shot at that national championship. So Berg at number 3. At number 2, Aaron Bernick from Duluth. Another driver. Great weekend last weekend. 2nd and a 3rd. They had makeup features at Gondik on the podium. Both features there. DNF, I'm not sure what happened over at the Proctor Speedway. So 10 shows, 7 podiums, 3 wins. Aaron Bernick kind of looking like he might be the driver to fill the void there for Corey Jorgensen, but Kaczynski's been solid. Jake Smith's been traveling down. Chasten Finkbone making some trips over to Proctor. It's going to be a pretty fun year over there for the Pure Stocks. Got some pretty darn good ones, but not as good as the guy that we're going to talk about next. Before we do, little shout out, Impact Health Sharing. What is Impact Health Sharing? It's a great alternative to the, insane costs, right, of health insurance that are just continuously rising. If you feel like you're paying too much or too much for your employees or whatever, hit me up, 218-969-1380. We'll see if we can save you some money on your health care so you can have more money to play. And at number 1, Travis Hazelton, Chippewa Falls driver. This driver right now, 5 straight feature wins. This week, 2 wins at Gondik, right? Against a couple of these guys we talked about, right? He raced against Aaron Bernick there. Bernick's got to be second. Why? Because he just lost 2 features, right? Lost them both to Hazelton and a win over at the ABC Raceway in Ashland. So Bernick has the most wins. Bernick has the next most wins in Wissota at 3. Hazelton has 5 wins in Wissota. They take the top 20 shows for the national points. Kind of a race to 20 right now. Hazelton's a quarter of the way there. He's at number 1 right now in the BuyRaceShirts.com One to Go Show Pure Stock Power Rankings. We'll see if he can have another big week this week.